This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation. Because it's true crime, it's for mature audiences only. There will be no children allowed, no exceptions. Everything on this channel falls under fair use. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's free. Hey y'all, I hope you are doing good today. Something weird is going on. I'm trying to figure out. So I need to do that real quick. Let me say hey to y'all. Hope y'all are doing good. I did email back and forth with the sheriff's department for the Harriston case, and I do have some things, but they're still kind of being weird, so I'm working on it. Hannah, good to see you. Michael Green, Chili Chicken, good to see you. Edith, good to see you. Rachel, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Hannah UK, good to see you, and thank you for being here. Jerry, it's good to see you, and thank you for being here. Victoria Burgess, good to see you, and thank you for being here. Tom, it's great to see you. Miss King of Anything, it's good to see you. Thank you guys for being here so very much. I really, really, really appreciate it. Y'all, I can't wait to get some of this stuff back that I have requested because I'm irritated. Amber, good to see you. And Lala, good to see you. I hope y'all are doing good this here day. I want to show y'all something. Hey, Addie V and Max, good to see you. And thank you guys for being here. I want to show y'all something I made a few minutes ago, and I don't know. I heard the song and I just could not help myself. I don't know why it's not loading, but let me pull it up. It's hot in Georgia. Rubber, good to see you. Karen, good to see you. It feels all right here. I mean, it's pretty decent outside. It's hot for freaking January. I will agree with you on that. Okay, I'm gonna play this for you guys. I heard the song and I could not pass up this opportunity. So I'm going to play this while I try to figure out what's going on. And if you guys remember yesterday, we were briefly discussing ants being in Sarah Boone's room. That's where this comes from. Hello, Stephanie Garrett. Good to see you. All right. So I'm going to play this for you guys real quick. The editing sucks because I made it. That's my hallmark. If the editing sucks, more than likely I made it, but it's funny nonetheless. Oh, hold on. Let me pause it. I don't know why it just doesn't turn on the music out the gate. I want to take it back. Hold on. Let me try to pause it from the get. All right, where's my volume? There we go. All right, now we can watch it.
It's in my room. They wait for me to fall asleep, to crawl in my mouth and nose and eyes. It's in my room. When I'm in bed, they start to creep to comfort me and tell me lies. Like, you'll be fine, my baby. Oh, you gotta trust me. It'll all work out in the end. Just maybe you'll be fine, my baby.
Oh, angry face.
Trust me, it'll all work out, 'cause no one's gonna love you like it's in my room. They wait for me to fall asleep, to crawl in my mouth and nose and eyes.
They're being mad as hell.
It's in my room. When I'm in bed, they start to creep to comfort me and tell me lies. Like, you'll be fine, my baby. Oh, you gotta trust me. It'll all work out in the end. Just maybe you'll be fine, my baby. Oh, you gotta trust me. It'll all work out, 'cause no one's gonna love you like.
I heard that song and I had to do that. All right, y'all. With that, let's get started. It's 0 degrees Celsius or 32 Fahrenheit there and will snow later. Girl, more power to you. Are you working? Are you going to be working in the snow? That's weird. Yeah. I don't know what's going on. It's the government, y'all. The government's fucking with our weather. The government's fucking with our weather. Absolutely. There was something. It might have been that song I was going to show y'all that I put in today. Yeah. Okay. So we got a few things to talk about. What are we going to start? Yes, Anders. It was Sarah Boone. That guy made a song about ants in his room, and so I had to put Sarah Boone's face on top of his while he was singing. You're off until next week. Okay, that's good. That woman is bonkers. Ants don't mess with shit like that, said Tom. Evidently they are. Okay, so we got quite a few things to discuss. I've got updates in several cases. So we'll go ahead and start with John. We don't have a lot on him. Hey, Cindy from sunny South Florida. Hey, OG Earthy. It's good to see you. Thank you for being here or dropping in. I appreciate y'all so much. So we have an update in John's case. Remember John, he went missing and was found deceased next to his dog. His father faced charges for allegedly making explosives. Jonathan Boley, 4, did not show any signs of, quote, trauma or assault type injuries, unquote, after officials performed an autopsy on Monday morning, 3 days after the heartbreaking discovery, according to the Walker County Sheriff. So I don't know exactly what happened. They are waiting on further tests, like I guess to see if anything was in his system. But it seems to me that if I had to speculate, more than likely he wandered off into the woods following the dog and succumbed to the elements like we all thought. I think the dad making explosives and playing with math did not have anything to do with John's death directly. By proxy, it probably did because he probably was not paying attention. Yes, I have an update on Decker too. Well, kind of, sort of. I love Hannah. I love Hannah. I was glad that she's a mod over there on your channel. I think that's great. She we all of us we do true crime, but we watch a lot of y'all streams and stuff, and I was glad that she got to be a mod over there. I know that she likes that, and I'm sure she enjoys that job. So I want to thank you for making her mod. She really likes it. I know she does. It is very sad, Michael Green Chili Chicken. I think that's about the only update. It continues that he was known as John. He was discovered partly in a body of water by a group of volunteers who were searching the wooded area in Jasper, Alabama, and it was about 2 miles away from where he vanished. He was visiting his father for the holidays, and he was last seen playing in the yard with his older brother. And then, as we read in the article, the older brother went to go tell the dad that he had slipped under the fence. And by the time the dad got out there, he was gone, disappeared. Southern Cat's good to see you. My question is, how did nobody hear the dog barking? Because I know people were looking for the dog, and I'm not believing that the dog didn't make any kind of noise. That's a good dog, though, that stayed there with him the whole time. Like when they found the dog, they found him. That dog stayed right beside him. That's sad to me. And I'm wondering if the dog will recover, Poor thing. Oh, if you guys, for those of you, I don't know why I didn't think to do this. For those of you, I know I'm subscribed. I'll try to pull it up. Yeah. Okay. So for those of you that do like the drama community, like we do, we watch it on our free time. Definitely go subscribe to OG Earthy. I'm going to drop her link. And since Hillbilly Belinda's up there, I'm going to drop hers too. Yep. Definitely check them out. If you like to talk a little shit about people that talk about true crime in this community. I'm waiting to see me on one of them channels. Hell, I might go in there and talk shit about myself. You never know. I'm a different breed. I trust her to a certain extent when she ain't trolling me, which I taught her how to do, and it backfired on me. I adore all of you. I try to stop in and show my support to you and everyone else. Well, thank you for that. And I try to do the same. I do try to peruse through the YouTube streets, and I'll stop into a stream here and there and make sure I hit the thumbs up. If I see that one of you guys are live, I always try to drop in and show support too. I watch more streams then I comment in though. Usually I'm doing stuff like cooking dinner, doing laundry. Sometimes if the kids are doing worksheets and I'm not teaching them, I'll be listening, but I don't ever have time to chat. And when I do chat, it's full of typos. So I just listen, but I'm definitely always listening to something. Thank you guys. Hillbilly Belinda, Nonsense, Queen Bee, OG Earthy, Cluminati. I don't watch Elevated Truth as well. I watch Cluminati, but I don't watch a lot. And that's okay. I mean, I really like her. Damn, I was driving and I about wrecked because Cletus was talking about the fucking shower door being broken. And Craig hearing three women talking to him at the same time and talking about that he probably ran dick first into the door and broke the fucking door, thinking about three women talking to him. And he was saying, it's hard. I got to do something right now. And I about swerved off the damn road. I like Cluminati, but I don't watch her as much as I watch the other ones. Because she says some things that sometimes I'm like, whoa, that's just a personal thing for me. She's definitely very open, very one of a kind. And if you like stuff like that, she's definitely somebody to check out. She's got way more bravery when it comes to speaking her mind than I ever would. She'll talk about snail trails and vaginas and just things like that. And sometimes I have to dip out. I'm like, I can't handle all that. But they are all really great creators, and you should definitely check them out. Start dropping the one link when I go on, please. She deserves it. Oh, okay. Well, thank you, OG Earthy. Cindy said, I'm new to the crime world. I'm learning and often lurking in the lives. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I lurk and check them out. Belinda was at Allegedly Innocent right now. Really? Allegedly Innocent. I didn't like her for a while, and a lot of people got me confused with her. But allegedly she's changed sides, which it was weird for me for like a psychiatrist to be back in that. I'm like, you're really backing someone who's scamming the fuck out of the community and just doing all of the things. But let me stop talking about drama. Definitely go check those creators out. I dropped OG Earthy, Hillbilly Belinda. Yeah, let me just go through my damn list here because I know that they're on here. Nonsense is really good. She did a really good stream last night, asking questions that I feel like should be asked, especially considering that when I was asked about the fucking video shit, what I would do. You fucking right. I'm gonna be up in that sheriff's department. I'm gonna be like, look, man, I fucked up. I fucked up bad. I need help getting this off the internet. Please help me get this off the internet. Here is Queen Bee. She's another great one in the Krama community to check out. I'll drop all these and then we'll get back to it. Granny's watching. I always watch her stream. If I'm not there when she's live, I go back and watch it. Granny's watching is in some fucking bullshit just because she made a YouTube channel and talked some shit. And the creator did not like her. They put her in a whole fucking lawsuit, which is bullshit. Like, never in my life have I seen any shit like that. It's so fucked up. Especially when that one's out here running their mouth. I know Cluminati's in there because I searched for her quite a bit. She popped up. I always misspell her name though. Here is Clue. She's live right now. She usually is. I think we go live at the same time. And that's the ones I can think of off the top of my head. Yes, all good channels to watch. You were busy trolling Earth. I was in Earth and in Nonsenses, clicking kind of back and forth. Trying to think. Can't think of any of the other ones off the top of my head that I would recommend to watch. I'm thinking of some that I hate watch, but I don't want to drop them. Yeah, all of them are good people and good channels to watch. Thank you for that. Granny shouldn't be going through all the bullshit she's dealing with. It's a shame. It is. It is. Get accused of operating a whole fucking RICO organization just because she said some shit you don't like, which is what you do every single day on the internet. Like, I cannot. Having to spend thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars for just because she got out here and did what everybody else does on the internet. No, fuck that. That's so fucked up. All of my favorite creators from the crime side of things, for sure. Absolutely. Yes, Cat Reflects. It's good to see you. Good to see you. All right, let me stop being about drama. If I do decide to talk about drama, we will do it on allegedly crama. I dropped the link in my post because it's not big enough for it to come up when you search it. I try to make this channel just true crime, but Hio and I might get on there and talk about some things again, because in that live stream, I think she was going down the road of, you know, we're here now, and this video was from back then, but nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. Now, I don't know if that's where she was going. I think that's where she was going, because for me and Rubber Ramada, it was a blind react to what Truth said. And then I got up there saying things that were not true, and I needed to be corrected. And Granny is the only one that could have corrected me, because nobody else would have believed anybody else. You know what I mean? So it was important. But if I do decide to talk about drama again, which we probably will, I'm thinking we probably will, I will definitely let you guys know and drop those links. So we'll get back to the true crime, because I'm not supposed to be talking about drama. Mr. Speculating is going to put me in the corner for talking about drama on my crime channel. Thank you, Hannah and Nightbot. And thank you, Jerry, for that. All right, continuing with John. John's elder sibling said his brother and the buck and the dog buck maybe had walked across the property line. Jamison Kyle Boley reported his son missing an hour later. That's not weird for me. I'm thinking he spent the hour looking for him. Keep in mind that the man has explosives and math in the house. So I think that he probably checked everywhere he thought to possibly fucking check before he called the law, because he probably knew he was going to go to jail. And after checking for a solid hour, he said, I can't find him. I got to do something. I might go to jail, but I got to try to save my baby. And unfortunately, this happened. Says the little tyke who lived with his mother in Florida after his parents separated was discovered just before 1 p.m. on Friday. Buck, the loyal pooch, was found alive next to Boley's body. This is some of the explosive material, so it looks like pipe bombs. And then there's his dad. Jamison Boley, as arrested and charged with unlawful manufacturing of a destructive device and 2 counts of chemical endangerment of a child. I was thinking about this case, and I thought that, like, you couldn't get charged with drugs if you were calling because you were reporting, like, might be just an overdose specifically. You're not supposed to get charged with them, but I don't know if he got charged with them specifically. I think he got charged with the children being around it. Not that I'm aware of. I can check, though. We all got to eat, Scratch the Paint. Good to see you. Dynamite. I heard Tannerite, but I don't know specifically. Well, I mean, most people that have been up probably for a while doing math, because, you know, math is hard. Most people that have been don't look the best in the world. He's got some meat on his bones, though. Maybe he was just manufacturing it. And he's stressed out because his baby's missing. Cara, it's good to see you, my love. I'm glad you are here. Volunteers were shook up when they found Boley after the days-long search. Quote, you know, obviously you come out to do a good deed, and when you get out there, you may have thought that you have fully prepared yourself for what you might come across. Obviously, they were shaken up. Officials also discovered explosive materials inside and around the Boley's home. Their discovery of potentially dangerous materials forced officials to cancel the ground search in the area. And there's the dog that stayed by his side the whole time. I wish I could get that dog some therapy, because poor dog, God almighty. I'm assuming he's discovered over in this area, partly in a body of water. That's weird for me. I want to know if he drowned in the water and, like, maybe they didn't see him at the time because he was in the water. But partly would mean like he washed up on the shore, maybe. I don't know. Addie V said, Dad definitely appears to need mental health care, being retired military. I could not agree with that more. It's really hard when you train somebody to kill, send them to kill, and then make them come home and expect them to just forget all that training and not ever access it again. And, the mental health crisis for our military is a hard topic to talk about. They need help, and there's not enough help. I have a soft spot for that. You won't get reported if you call poison control. Okay, thank you for that, Cindy. Thank you so much, OG Earthy. I hope you have a good day, love it. I really appreciate you. That's what I'm saying. Why did nobody hear the dog? I know the dog had to be barking. Because if the dog is loyal enough to stay there with the boy the whole time, the dog had to be fucking barking. Could have been yeah. I was thinking it was hypothermia too, but it's weird for me that he was half in the water. Wonder if he slipped, fell, and bumped his head on the edge of the water. Maybe. I'd have to see the location, but yeah, if like he's walking along the side of the water and there's a rock or something and he slipped, he could have hit his head on. But it says there's no signs of trauma. There are no deprogrammed, the whole family. If they are not deprogrammed, the whole family suffers. Yeah, and but it's a lot. I mean, to deal with, I couldn't imagine, You think it was a failure in search? I don't know. Depends on how thick the woods are. 2 miles is quite a ways for a child of 4, almost 5 or 5 to go. Carter said, in my opinion, all military personnel who have seen combat should have free lifetime mental health. Yep. They should be conditioned to know that it's okay to receive mental health help. Yep. I agree 100% with that.
Boom, 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 bam.
Absolutely. Nicola Bully's dog stayed by the river. I don't know that case. Let me write it down. Ugh, I bumped my mic. I'm sorry. All right. I don't know that case. I'm going to look into it. Officials found evidence they had some type of bomb materials that might have exploded on the property, and he was charged with unlawful manufacturing of a destructive device and 2 counts of chemical endangerment of a child. But going back up here again, they're saying he did not show any signs of trauma or assault type injuries. They're going to test his system probably to make sure there's no substances in his system or whatever, but I don't think there will be. I think it's going to be hypothermia. But like I said, it's weird for me that he's partially in the water and partially out of the water. And he could have fallen and bumped his head. I mean, would they consider that a trauma? I mean, I would think they would consider it a trauma type injury. You would think. She disappeared in the UK. Very mysterious. You're right, UK with that. We'll have to look into it. And their neighbors were so close to where John was found. Did they not search their own property? Interesting, Karen. That is interesting. So maybe it was some failure on like areas to search or something. I don't know. He needed help because he refused to get help because he's not weak. It's been 12 years. And I still pray he receives some sort of help. I'm so sorry, Cara. It is hard for a man it is hard for most men that I've known to go get mental health because they'll say the same thing. I'm not weak. I'm not a little bitch and things like that. And it needs to be destigmatized that it doesn't mean that you're weak or anything. I mean, my God, you're trained to fucking kill and you go kill. You can't go through that and be okay after and then just come back. Especially like the ones that they start at the age of like 17, 18. I mean, your brain is still developing and you're trained to fucking kill. And that's what you know. I mean, I'm thinking that this person was probably trained to either detect pipe bombs or make pipe bombs, make UEDs or something like that. And they get sent back home and just said, okay, your service is done. What do? They do what they've been trained to do, It is hard for men. Abso-fucking-lutely. Or if it was slippery and he was super cold, hypothermia was setting in, his reflexes would be compromised. That's a good point. That's a good point. And a 5-year-old, if they see the water, they're gonna wanna get in. I mean, he might have went in a little bit and then got back out, and then that's gonna make the hypothermia set in worse, and the reflexes would definitely be compromised. I could definitely see a small child seeing water and wanting to go in the water. Maybe he knew how to swim, maybe he swam and then got back out or halfway out, got too cold, hypothermia setting in while he's in the water and made it to the bank, but still died of hypothermia. That is a good point to bring up. That makes sense to me, Cindy. If we're speculating, maybe he got in the water, possibly swam, I don't know, got in the water somewhat. Hypothermia was already setting in and it set in worse, and he made it to the bank and then succumbed to the hypothermia. That makes a lot of sense. They said a heat sensor didn't pick up the dog. Why wouldn't a heat sensor pick up the dog? I mean, maybe not him if hypothermia had already set in, maybe not. But the dog's going to be warmer anyway, I would think, because of the fur. 2 Mile with modern technology should have produced results. I'm not going to disagree with you. Oh, Karen pointed out, I still think that the dog pulled him out of the water. Maybe hypothermia with him being halfway wet, but there was no water in his lungs that I've heard. I wonder if the dog was wet or showed signs of having been wet, because I would not put it past that dog to have pulled him out of that water. But with there being no water in his lungs, I think that he could have got in and swam, or got in and not just gone very deep and then tried to get back out. Hypothermia would set in. Improvised explosive device. That's what I mean. IED. Thank you, Michael Green Chili Chicken. A heat sensor can detect a footprint. Well, then what the fuck's going on out here? I got to pull up Vaughn for this.
Now what the fuck is going on?
How are we not detecting a dog and a child if they can detect a fucking footprint? What the fuck? They're not fail proof, but they should be better than that. Lord have mercy. My damn beanie keeps sliding up. That's why I keep pushing it down. If the dog is wet, it would affect if it was picked up on the heat sensors. That's a good point. That's a good point. So the dog might have been wet at the time. That would make sense. I don't know if they tried CPR. Hey, Crackerjacks or Fibbity Foopa Flap. Good to see you. I think he would have succumbed regardless the first day or night because it was so cold, 22 degrees. Probably. But the dog, if he'd have laid with the dog might would have been able to keep him warm. I don't know. Yeah, possibly. Definitely, since there's no type of trauma or assault type injuries, I definitely think it was hypothermia. Poor baby. He was so beautiful. And the mom was worried, from what I understand, about the dad having the kids, because of the that's why he only got them 5 days a year. Okay. Oh, okay. So let's talk about, actually, we'll go ahead and do Travis Decker, and then we'll talk about Rob Reiner. He had a hearing today. I know a lot of people were trying to record it and go live with it, but once they put the gag order in, or the order saying that people weren't going to be able to get information on the case, I knew that that case probably would not be on camera today. And then a lot of people found out that it wasn't going to be, unfortunately. Fur insulates the dog. Online, its face would show heat. Even if it was wet, even if the dog was fully wet, which when they swim, they don't usually get their back too wet. Let's ask Uncle Google. Hold on. We got to talk about that. Okay. Okay, I say, can a heat sensing drone pick up a dog in freezing temperatures? Because we know it might have been freezing. So if it picks it up in freezing temperatures, it should have definitely picked it up in non freezing temperatures. And it says thermal IR drones can detect the heat signature of a lost dog, even if it is hidden under light foliage or debris. The dog's body heat stands out against the cooler background, making it easier to spot from the air. But if it was wet, let's look at this real quick. I want to see when they spot the dog.
We're done. Unfortunately, we gotta shut it off at some point. So a bunch of deer on that hillside. Come on. Like, stop going back and forth. Yeah, drones up there. Probably need to land us here. I don't know what happened. My screen won't record anymore. Raining like crazy. Drone's not working anymore.
Hold on.
So everybody in the area knows what time it is. All right, so he's back. I don't know if we're gonna be able to get up there though. So we're having an issue. We're trying to go get these things tied up because they keep moving so fast. Now we're trying to get across this river, creek, whatever you want to call it.
I'm trying to see where they find the dogs.
I got him though, so I'm gonna keep an eye on him. Jason's gonna go get the puppy owners.
If they're showing up as a white light like that, did they spot the dog and think that it was a deer? Hey, Abraham, maybe he got stuck in the mud close to the bank and he couldn't get out of that sticky mud. That could be true. Thought that Decker did it to get revenge on his ex-wife. I think that that's a probably more than likely exactly what happened. Travis Decker is deceased. Hey, Abraham, good to see you. First night he was missing, it was 20 to 30 degrees. Would hide body heat. A dog with a heavy coat like a Great Pyrenees would hide body heat and be very warm, showing only nose, maybe ears, eyes, pads of feet. Thank you for that. Nona Rocks, good to see you. Oh, I didn't mean to X out of it, but I'm wondering if the dog only showed up as the white light, the white dot like we saw on that, and they thought that it was deer because those guys were seeing things that they thought were deer. But I mean, I don't know. It's just so odd to me. So this came up on my For You page today. And it tells us that authorities found remains using an operational psychologist, which I think we talked about briefly before, but we didn't ever expand on it. So I thought we would read through this real quick today. Now, as you may or may not know, Travis Decker had visitation with his 3 girls. He was in a custody battle with his wife. He had them for the weekend. The girls were found. They had grocery bags tied over their faces and their hands tied behind their back. There was a bloody handprint on the back tailgate of the truck. They were found at a campsite in Washington State. A manhunt ensued for quite a while, I think at least a month or two. And then they finally found him up on a mountain where you could allegedly see down into the campsite, and he had taken his own life. My cat doesn't like snow. He was meowing to go out. He put one paw right back in. I think the little legs were buried, and so they look like little dumplings. Size and shape matter. Anyone experienced in night vision should not be that confused, in my opinion. That's a good point. If he was partially under the water, it very well could have looked like something else. But the dog, for me. All right, this reads, Travis Decker was pronounced dead 5 months ago, but authorities are now shedding new details on how the ex-Army Ranger's remains were found after a months-long manhunt. Washington, here, we'll watch the video on this one. Maybe. Washington State Patrol Captain Trinsa, I'm going to refresh it so maybe we can watch the video. Okay. Washington State Patrol Captain Trinsa Schrapp acknowledged an operational psychologist was brought in to review evidence and develop a behavioral
Police officers say they never
profile for Decker. The psychologist's profile accurately predicted Decker fled directly to the location where his remains were discovered near Grindstone Mountain. So basically, they had somebody come in from the BAU, and the BAU person told them exactly where he was going to be, and he was there. What? I mean, that's some amazing training right there.
If you ever hear a police officer say they never give up looking for a fugitive child murder suspect, believe them. And I say that in light of the Travis Decker story. Decker was that Washington State man who picked up his 3 young daughters from their mother's place last spring. They were just 5 and 8 and 9 years old. Look at this picture.
They were so precious.
These girls were supposed to have a pretty short visit with their dad, not even an overnight. Instead, though, he took them to a campground and he suffocated each of his daughters with a plastic bag over their heads, one by one. Or maybe that campground was where he dumped their little bodies. We're not exactly sure. But in any case, he left his truck there too, complete with bloody handprints on it. And then he vanished for almost 4 months, took off into the woods. Investigators searched almost 3,000 square miles of some of the most dangerous terrain in North America. But they found him. Or at least they found his remains. And as it turned out, he was less than a mile from the murder scene.
Find your dreams
Hold on.
come true.
This is not YouTube.
And I wonder.
My computer.
The
So
captain on the force says that the turning point came when a
here's the link to
psychologist
the drama
was
channel.
brought in to analyze evidence connected to the killer and develop a behavioral profile. The profile predicted that Decker would do exactly what he did, kill himself right nearby. Investigators say they also have a pretty good idea of why Decker did what he did, but they won't release that information until they share it with the family.
I dropped the link for the Krama channel. Earthy, if you want it. So Scharf noted Decker placed himself in an area that was unsafe for searchers to access from below. She added his remains were found through a top-down search strategy. So he used his training. Okay, so he got the girls, he took their lives, he used his training to get to a vantage point where he could see the campsite where the girls were laying, and the searchers would not be able to find him unless they came from above on the helicopter, and he took his own life. I definitely think it was to hurt his wife, his ex-wife, because he knew that it would take them a long time to find him. And therefore, she's worried and thinking that he's going to bust through her door at any minute the whole fucking time that they're looking for him. That's insane. And then it talks about the crime. Decker had been accused of killing his 3 daughters, Peyton 9, Evelyn 8, and Olivia Decker 5, and their bodies were found in June. He picked the girls up for a court-mandated parental visit May 30th, according to police. The 32-year-old was reported missing after authorities said he never returned the girls to their mother, Whitney, his ex-wife, after the visit. The search included U.S. Marshals Special Operation Group, along with the U.S. Border Patrol's tactical unit, as well as local sheriff's deputies. During the manhunt, police said Decker was being sought on 3 counts of first-degree homicide and first-degree kidnapping. The U.S. Marshal Service declared Decker dead on September 24th. An autopsy of his remains could not be completed due to the condition of the remains. Investigators say they have answers to the motive behind Decker's actions. They added details will be shared with the family before any public release. So we need to pay attention for that release. But it's extremely interesting to me that the operational psychologist was brought in and told them exactly where he would be. And that's exactly where he was. Why did it take a month for them to come in? Okay. Took the coward's way out for sure. It is heartbreaking what happened to those babies. That shit's always bothered me, man. Like, you didn't have to take their lives. And it's upsetting to me that getting vengeance and hurting his ex-wife seems to be right now more important than his own children, his own blood children's lives. How does that happen? And she's had one of the biggest GoFundMe's in history, like people donating money, and it just kept, it got into like the millions of dollars. And she had stated during a release where they talked on the camera in front of the public that she wanted to use the money to try to get help for veterans, mental health, make it more accessible, because allegedly Decker had been seeking mental health for his borderline personality disorder. And there was issues with the VA because he was a National Guard and he was working part-time and he couldn't get the help that he needed. It is impossible to understand. Absolutely, Anders. Absolutely. Hannah said his ex-wife still thinks he did it because of the lack of mental health care for veterans. And honestly, I hope that was it and not spite for her sake. I hope so too. Oh no, but I need to go check my mail. I'll definitely check my mail after the live and see if it's there. Thank you so much, Abraham. I really appreciate it. I have to go check the mailbox. They didn't bring it to my door, so I will check. I'm sorry. I thought about going and checking the mail this morning too, but I didn't. I'll definitely check it. I'll have to see. It depends on how big it was. If it's big, I'll have to get it in the morning at the post office. But thank you so much, Abraham. That was so sweet of you. I really appreciate it. I'll definitely check after the live. Law enforcement probably thought he was a coward and was running, took rational deduction to think of where he would have went. Yeah. They thought he went all the way up to Canada and shit. I know, Addie. That's why I credit Duchess and you for doing true crime. I can watch you both and watch how well you two can handle it. Me, I'd be canceled because I'd be letting my emotions get the best of me. It's not easy. I don't know how to say it. Like I've been through some shit in my life. And I don't have the proper emotional reaction. Like I get upset, but like crying and stuff, it's hard to make me cry. Like you really have to fuck with me to make me cry. And show emotion, because I was in a really bad relationship and he used to like do some really bad shit if I would cry, because I cried and apologized a lot at that time. So it makes it to where I can talk about things and try not to show as much emotion, but I get pissed off. I'm pissed off about this case out of Florida right now. I know. I thought they would. Yeah, I can't cover Melody Buzzard. I can't do it. I found out what happened, and yeah, even now, that shit's like I could see it. I could see it happening. I can see him every time I think about what happened, or I don't know why. But I see in my head, I see everything. I see Ashley shooting her. I see Melody crying and asking her, why is she doing that? What did she do? Why are you doing this? Just, I don't understand. Lots of emotion, lots of pain. I can feel that shit. I feel it. I can fucking feel it. I can't do it. I can't do it. So there are some that fuck with me. It is a really sad case. Yeah, I get pissed off about Stearns. All right, so now we're going to talk about the Reiners. Evidently, there was some kind of email that was released. What it is, I don't know. I haven't looked at it yet. We're going to look at it together. And then we'll see what happened with the hearing today, because I know it's on YouTube, to be sure. I hate wearing this beanie. It is very sad. Okay. So this says that Rob Reiner's son was removed from self-deletion watch after a final email was revealed. And I'm like, what is this email? He looks so fucked up in that picture. Like, that motherfucker is higher than bird twat. Lord of mercy. So Rob Reiner's son is no longer considered a danger to himself amid the ongoing double homicide case. Nick Reiner remains behind bars at Twin Towers Correctional Facility in Los Angeles following his arrest and subsequent confinement for the gruesome homicide of his famous parents. Michelle and Rob were found deceased in their Brentwood home on December 14th. The longtime couple passed away from stab wounds, with their son taking the blame for their deaths. According to the LA County Sheriff's, Rob's infamous son is no longer on self-deletion watch at the correctional facility. Nick entered the jail system a day after his parents were killed and was immediately placed under close watch. The heightened security included self-deletion prevention smock, which Nick was mandated to wear at all times. However, he will no longer need the outfit and will reportedly trade this smock for a yellow jail-issued shirt and blue trousers. A source told People that Nick will not be released from high observation housing, or HOH, until a judge or court hearing says otherwise. In the meantime, Rob's son will remain in solitary confinement and continue to be monitored. Okay. The LA County Sheriff's source shed more light on Nick's routine behind bars, revealing officials check on him every 15 minutes. They explained that the close monitoring is because the alleged homicider is still considered to have mental health issues despite escaping self-deletion watch. He is in one of the 2 towers for mental health. When he leaves the cell, he is still escorted by a deputy and is still being recorded, the source shared. They added that from their knowledge, Nick did not have trouble eating or sleeping. The decision to take Nick off self-deletion watch arrived timely, as he is scheduled to appear at the LA Superior Court today for his arraignment. He is facing 2 counts of first-degree homicide and a special allegation that he used a knife in the homicides. News of Nick's removal from self-deletion watch comes at the heels of his parents' unique bond with an inmate. The Blast covered the story, reporting that Rob and Michelle have built a close relationship with a man who was once sentenced to death. Nanan Williams, a man serving time for a crime he claimed he never committed, reflected on his friendship with the late couple. Their bond began after Rob and Michelle saw a live performance of lyrics from Lockdown, a spoken word multimedia performance based partially on Williams' writings. That's interesting. According to Williams, their bond grew stronger with time as he conversed with the couple via email. He revealed Michelle had sent him an email just hours before she and Rob were homicided. Unfortunately, the correspondence reached him long after their deaths. Oh my God, could you imagine talking back and forth with these 2 people who are stars and famous, and then finding out that they're deceased and their son killed them, and then checking your email on the kiosk in jail and seeing that you got an email from them? Oh, that would send chills up my spine. Alan Jackson's going to step down, which tells me possibly no insanity plea is going to float. Why is he stepping down? That's not good. He did step down this morning. Oh, shit. Oh, yeah. If y'all don't mind, please hit the thumbs up. Twinkle, twinkle, baby. Let me get that clip. Twinkle, twinkle, baby. Where's my twinkle, twinkle? There's my twinkle, twinkle.
Come on, players. Stop hating. Stop hating. Start participating. Start participating, Star. Come on, twinkle, twinkle, baby. Twinkle, twinkle.
Twinkle, twinkle, baby. Someone else ruined that case. I watched her coverage on it to get the feel for her true crime. If you know, you know. No. Don't ever watch that person for true crime. I know who it is. Let me see if I can switch my account to my allegedly crima. I can. Check this out. Where is it?
Your mama's high, bitch. Get out of my chat.
Bitch, get out of my chat. Let me go back over here. Your mama's high, bitch. All right. Continuing with the article. The deceased couple sent out a holiday card ahead of their passing. Oh, no. William wasn't the only one to receive a posthumous message from Rob and Michelle, as some of their loved ones got Christmas cards after their deaths. The blast shared that celebrity trainer Nita Soderverst broke the news on Instagram. She shared the content of the Christmas card she had received in Rob and Michelle's name in a heartfelt post, noting that it arrived through the mail. The Jam Malibu founder raved about her close relationship with the late couple, particularly Michelle, in the post caption. The fitness guru revealed that Michelle frequently gave her bonuses that she would vow to use solely for herself. However, to honor the late media personality, she promised to keep 100 and donate the rest to a foundation close to Michelle's heart. Damn, that just breaks my heart to know that, I mean, they're just such good people, and these cards and letters are going out after they're dead. It's just, damn. Rob and Michelle's names resurfaced at the 31 Critic Choice Awards on January 4th of 2026. The event, held at the Barker Hangar in Santa Monica, saw comedian Chelsea Handler hosting for her 4th consecutive year. The blast reported that she honored Rob and Michelle towards the end of her monologue, fondly remembering them as selfless and passionate people. Handler claimed the filmmaker was, quote, the nicest something, because my computer just decided to jump. Let me try to do this quick. The nicest guy in Hollywood, unquote. Quote, anyone who ever spent time with Rob Reiner knows that the minute you met him, he felt like an old friend, Handler added. She implored the crowd to remember Rob and Michelle for all they stood for, applauding their tireless devotion to helping others. Will Rob and Michelle Reiner's son pay a high price for their tragic deaths? I don't know. That's really sad, though, to know that they care so much and sent out all these cards. I mean, you know, you don't see that a lot anymore. People sending out Christmas cards and just making sure that, you know, even if you've just come into contact with them, that you are appreciated and loved, and making sure that they let you know that they're thinking about you for Christmas. And then to receive that after you know that they've died in such a horrific way at the hands of their own child would be hard. Let's see. Oh, so they did get it on camera, I guess. Let's watch it. See what happened. This is going to be from Law and Crime Trials. Hey, CM Wilkins. You sent out Xmas cards? See, that's so sweet. Not enough people do that anymore. It was a senseless tragedy. I was on the phone with a friend when the news broke about Rob and his wife. It was a shock to find out it was his son that did it. It was. It sounds like he had been troubled for quite some time, but you would never think your own child would do that. Yeah, I think I was live. I don't remember. Yep. Yeah, we were live that night. Yeah, we broke it live. We sure did. Thank you. Alan Jackson article. Okay, I'll have to grab it on my phone. All right, so here's the arraignment from today. Maybe. Okay. It actually starts. Yeah.
So calling People versus Nick Reiner, case number 25 CJC F.
CM Wilkins, it's good to see you, love.
Good morning, Your Honor. Alan Jackson, on behalf of Mr. Reiner, who is present in court out of custody.
Oh, really?
Thank you.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good question.
Your Honor, we have a matter of housekeeping that I'd like to address in chambers in dealing with the
You're good.
subpoenas that are outstanding. There are 10 current subpoenas that are outstanding. We would ask that body attachments be issued and held for each of the 10, specifically with subpoena number 4 on the list and subpoena number 10 on the list. counsel for both of those individuals or those parties have appeared in court. They're here with us today. We have no principled objection to an extension of time for them to comply with the subpoena, but to maintain jurisdiction, we would ask that body attachments be issued.
I don't have a list. I'd like to get a copy.
Oh, shit.
I see the proof of service, but I assume the court.
Counsel for 410 present.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm not sure which.
That's crazy.
Number I am.
Number 10.
Anders, you're funny.
I'm counsel for number 10, and we do object to issue if that would resolve the court's concerns about retaining jurisdiction. However, we see no reason, given our appearance and the fact that we are here to issue a rule of body attachment.
And counsel for number 4.
In council number 10's statement, I don't see the necessity for issuing a body attachment. I too will stipulate the jurisdiction without necessarily waiving any objections we ultimately may make. But given my newness to the matter, I don't see the necessity of having a court order issued against an individual in this circumstance.
Thank you, Your Honor.
It keeps jumping, which is irritating. This is from Law and Crime. So, I mean, it is the recording, but I don't like how it keeps jumping. One was the prosecution and one was the defense. I know Alan Jackson was speaking in the beginning, but he talks about matters of housekeeping, which I'm assuming that's right when he stepped down. And the guy that you just saw speaking was talking about he was new to the case, but there should be no change in jurisdiction, which means they want to keep it in Los Angeles. I do believe.
Yes, and so, but as to the remaining numbers, that's 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Those, the court will issue body attachment and hold it until the next court date.
And 9. Thank you. We have no objection to counsel's representations, given the fact that both have graciously submitted to jurisdiction with regard to 4 and 10.
Her name is McGoing L.E. That literally says McGoing L.E. That's not how you pronounce it, but that's what it says. I don't know. I haven't seen him so far. I think he did walk in. I think they got him on camera coming in. No, he wouldn't. He's still in jail. So he wouldn't have been walking in the front door. So I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry, Hannah. I hate when that shit happens.
Thank you. Once again, the court will issue and hold 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9.
Thank you.
Until the next hearing date. And we'll
Does the
seal,
court have a list?
it does. The court will seal that list as well.
We've asked
People have a copy of it?
that the court seal it specifically because it is ongoing defense investigative data or evidence that we recover or we get. Our counsel on behalf of Mr. Reiner gets, and that is discoverable. We'll comply with our counsel will comply with all discovery obligations at that time.
Address the counsel's request to provide a copy.
Okay, so he's saying that when Mr. Reiner gets counsel, that he'll give everything that he has over to counsel and all that.
That's the point. We think that should not be done because that would implicate ongoing investigative efforts by the defense, and it would compromise Mr. Reiner's right to a fair trial and his right to maintain his investigation with some level of confidence or confidentiality, I should say.
So at this time, the court will just seal it until the next court hearing date.
McGongle.
Your Honor, at this time, based on the conversation that we've had in chambers and the explanation we've provided to the court in chambers, we feel that we have no choice at this juncture but to withdraw as counsel and has to be relieved. The public defender's office has been notified. We've had conversations with them. They are here. They're staffed. They're ready to take over. My understanding is they are ready for the appointment immediately, forthwith.
Good morning, Your Honor. Kimberly Green from the public defender's office. That is correct.
So the
thank you. Mustang is continued.
And so that firm is relieved as counsel of record and the court appoints the public defender's office to represent Mr. Reiner.
Thank you.
Current counsel turnover any items that they received.
We will absolutely comply with that. We've already begun. The mediation has been met.
Your Honor, there's a protective order issued by the court in place regarding the handling of discovery order that's remained in place for now, and we will serve a copy of that on the public defender's office along with the discovery we provide.
Yes, the court will order that order.
Preclude me from getting, Mr. Bailey raises a very sage point.
I'm sorry it's jumping around like that. I want to know why Alan Jackson is not staying on the case.
I'm under a protective order not to provide our discovery to anybody else. That would text providing the information only to Ms. Green in her office. Then I can be in full compliance with the protective order.
Anything to the people, any response?
They're keeping this case under wraps. I doubt we'll get much more information about it. And I don't know if we'll get to watch the trial. That's what he's talking about right now. Even with the discovery, because the defense and the prosecution both have to have a copy of it, he's only willing to give it to one person in her office to protect the chain of custody of it and make sure it does not get leaked to the press. So this is going to be an interesting one. Opinion, free room and board, $20,000 a month, spending allowance. Sheesh. Was worried Nick was going to end up in a luxury B&B for the rest of his days. It wouldn't surprise me if he was. I think about that, some people, I guess, just aren't meant to be rich like that. If I had it, well, to be fair, I've got 11 children. I've got 8 bonus children and then 3 biological. But if I was rich like that, they would have an allowance. I mean, I could definitely see myself doing that, making sure that they ain't got to worry about money for their lives. But at the same time, from what I've noticed as being somebody who does not have it made like that, people who have never had to struggle, they don't appreciate what they're given. I mean, think about the person we watch in the drama community, been handed a house, all the things, handed money, hand over fist on YouTube all the time, and they don't seem to appreciate it. Whereas if somebody like myself who had been struggling in life, was handed a house, shit, I would be making sure that motherfucker was taken care of. You know what I mean? So it's a weird dynamic for me. I've always wondered why people who are handed things in life, their parents make sure that they're taken care of. They don't appreciate it. Yeah, that's true. $20,000 a month in California isn't a lot of money. I could definitely agree with that. Tell your cat, good to see you. He can't say he withdrew. Speculation is Nick is not a cooperative client. Thank you for that. I find that could be true. I could see that. I could definitely see that Nick is not being a cooperative client. In my opinion, Alan Jackson doesn't lose. That says a lot as to why he stepped down. That's true too. Also, his siblings might have reconsidered paying for him. That could be true. Abraham said, I think Nick confessed to Alan Jackson, so he would be forced to conflict out. That could be true too. All great speculations. I could see all of those things happening, honestly.
No problem. I believe the protective order spells out that it covers Mr. Jackson's firm as well as any successor counsel.
Thank you.
You can provide everything to the screen. Thank you. Thank you. Back on the record in People versus Nick Reiner, case number 25 CJC F08098.
In 20, Kimberly Green, DRTE, and the Federal Defender's Office on behalf of Mr. Reiner, who again is present.
Thank you.
Good morning, Your Honor. Khabib Bailey, representing the people of the state of California.
Thank you.
Your Honor, with the court's permission, we'd ask to put over the arraignment one last time.
You have?
February 23rd, that date is appropriate.
February 23rd.
That date is fine, of course.
Thank you, and I will work with Ms. Green to get her discovery prior to that date.
I'll take a waiver for you. Entitled, you have a constitutional and statutory right to a speedy arraignment. Your counsel, Ms. Green.
I'm going to ask Uncle Google real quick. Addie B said, will it still be attorney-client privilege if Nick did confess to Alan? Alan could not be called to testify. Well, with attorney-client privilege, I think that he wouldn't be able to say that, Nick confessed. But at the same time, we know Nick did the crime, right? So we're trying to figure out if it's going to be insanity or they're going to try to take some other type of route just to keep him out of from being sentenced to death, which I don't think you can be. Maybe just keep him out of being in prison for the rest of his life. We all know that he more than likely did it. representing him as though he didn't do it when you have a client like Nick. Like, let's say Nick confessed and Alan Jackson wanted to try to take the case in the aspect of Nick did not do this and it was somebody else who came into the house and killed them. If Nick had confessed, and taking into account his mental health issues, Alan Jackson, I could see myself as a lawyer saying, look, I can't take this case. And my thought process would be, I'm trying to approach this to try to get you out of it 100% and completely. Meanwhile, you've just confessed to me, and I don't think that you will last on the stand while they question you. I think you would break and say I did it. So therefore, I'm not going to represent you. If we went down that road, I would think it is attorney-client privilege, and he would not disclose that. I could agree. He probably does. I knew a lot of people when I got in trouble that I went to that were in the jail. Of course, I went to like freaking 5 different jails. Hannah said no because he was attorney at the time, and the only person able to subpoena him is Nick himself. If he did confess, he's not likely to call him, right? Tell your cats that a lawyer can still represent a client who confesses to them. The attorney just can't move forward with the basis of lies. Yep. And that goes back to what I was thinking about, like if he's trying to present it as somebody else came in to get his client off completely, then he's not going to be able to represent the case like that, knowing that he confessed. Ethically, an attorney wouldn't defend you if they knew you were guilty. But even in a case like this, Abraham, where we know he's guilty, he's just trying to get him like an insanity plea or keep him from being sentenced to life in prison. Like if he were to say that, Nick did this 100%, but was he in his right mind when he did it? I mean, the attorney, like, that's different for me than just saying, do you get what I'm saying? Like saying, yeah, he did it with no remorse. What is the Metallica song? No remorse, no something, no remorse. No death penalty enforced in Cali hasn't been executed there in decades. Yep. You still pay a mortgage? I'm so sorry. I hope to own a house one day, but right now I don't. Really? See, we're getting ahead of ourselves. In the presser after this, AJ states Nick is not guilty. We'll have to watch it.
From the Public Defender's Office is requesting that your arraignment be continued to February.
Thank you.
The 23rd, 2026. In this department, do you waive your right to be arraigned today so that your matter may be continued to February 23rd, 2026 for arraignment?
Yeah, I agree.
Is counsel doing that waiver?
I do.
The court finds that the defendant has made a knowing and intelligent waiver of his right to a speedy arraignment, and that his counsel of record joins in that waiver. Matter set for arraignment in this department, February 23rd, 2026. Bail remains at no bail. Anything further?
No, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's the end of that one. So I'll loop it.
What is this?
Set up.
Yeah. Hold on.
We're ready. So calling People versus Nick Reiner, case number 25 CJC F08098.
Good morning, Your Honor. Alan Jackson, on behalf of Mr. Reiner, who is present in court out of custody. I'm sorry, in custody.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Okay, so I guess they're starting over the stream or something. But anyway, he just said that Nick Reiner is present in custody in court, which means he's in court but still locked up in jail. Maybe he won't skip.
The beef alien for the people.
Your Honor, we have a matter of housekeeping.
Okay, so it's playing the same thing over. Let's see if we get the presser after. If not on here, I'll have to locate it. I'm thinking it's on here. I'm thinking that's why they left this up. Oh. Okay, I think he's coming up to the mic here.
Excuse us.
Yeah, right here, right here.
Good morning.
Really?
As you know, my name is Alan Jackson. This morning,
That's not good.
I had to withdraw as Nick Reiner's counsel. Circumstances beyond our control, but more importantly, circumstances beyond Nick's control have dictated that, sadly, it's made it impossible for us to continue our representation of Nick.
Circumstances beyond Nick's control? So, I mean, the only thing I can think of is that his family denied paying for the attorney. Nick needs to be in a hospital forever for everyone's sake. I agree with that. Unless you plead not guilty for reasons of insanity, then you have the hurdle of proving the person was insane, which there's no proof of. Being an addict doesn't mean you're insane. Yeah, and we looked into some laws in California that were saying, because like going down that avenue, are you insane if it's drug related? But if we're going to talk about proving that he was insane at the time, allegedly he rented a motel room before and then went to the motel room after, and the clothes were never found. There was blood all in the shower, enough to where the forensics team could actually see blood. And he's seen stopping at a gas station or meeting a dope man or something right after. So it's going to be very hard to prove that he was insane in that moment. Not presently, no, not other than if he's going to try to use insanity. It's rare to win the ability to argue that offense. Yeah.
I'm legally and I'm ethically prohibited from explaining all the reasons why. I know that's a question on everybody's mind.
I think so.
We expect the public defender to step in. They've already been appointed and very capably protect Nick Reiner's interests.
That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened right there, Tom. Tom said, I bet that's what happened. Family said, Mom and Dad aren't paying for your defense. That's exactly what happened, and that's why he has a public defender. Yep. I don't know. I mean, if it wasn't going to be, if his family wasn't aware of the withdrawal of counsel, then he wouldn't be getting a public defender. I would think that the family, if they were going to pay for his counsel, would pay for a different attorney. But they're saying he's getting a public defender specifically. So if he's getting a public defender, that means that nobody's paying for it. Unless something happened with their finances after they died and the whole family is blocked from getting it. By the way, the LA Public Defender's Office is one of the best in the nation. Well, that's good. But I'm thinking it absolutely has to do with his family not funding him.
As he moves forward through the system. But be clear, be very, very clear about this. My team and I remain deeply committed to Nick Reiner and to his best interests.
I still think they're not going to pay for it.
In fact, we know, we're not just convinced, we know that the legal process will reveal the true facts.
Really?
Of the circumstances surrounding this case, Nick's case. You know, a lot's been printed of late over the last 3 weeks. A lot has been printed about Nick, printed about his family, printed about the circumstances. Speculation is in print. On December 15th, in the early morning hours, I was in New York at the time, and I got a call. Me and my team, we dropped everything. And for the last 3 weeks, we have devoted literally every waking hour to protecting Nick and his interests. We've investigated this matter top to bottom, back to front. What we've learned, and you can take this to the bank, is that pursuant to the laws of this state, pursuant to the law in California, Nick Reiner is not guilty of murder. Print that. Print.
So pursuant to the law, he's not guilty. I mean, again, I think he's trying to defend him before he steps down and I think they're going to go with insanity. I really do.
That. We wish him the very, very best moving forward. And that's all I have today.
I think so. Absolutely. Pursuant to the laws of the state of California, he is not guilty. That to me, it means 100% mental health. Absolutely, it does. And they're going with insanity at the time. There's some kind of law though. Let me see if I can pull that up since this is over. I'm going to make sure that nothing else happens. It's at the end, so I don't think anything else happens. Oh. Maybe somebody says something. They got ready for another presser. Okay, we're not watching a movie. There's a sketch. Possibly could be a sketch of him, but I'm not seeing anything as far as another presser after court. Yeah, print that. Oh, you know he's going to be dramatic. You know Alan Jackson's going to be dramatic about it. Take it to the bank. Yeah, can I get that check first, please? That would be great. Pursuant to the laws of the country, he's not guilty right now because he's not had a trial or due process. Just give it some time. That's what he meant. You think so? I think he means insanity. There goes my girl, Pinchy Becky, with the white headphones. Yeah. Hey, Sam Brown. Good to see you. Dude had blood on him when the cops found him. Yeah, yes, he did. It's floating around out there that Nick doesn't agree with how AJ wants to run the case. Sarah Boone craziness. That makes sense. Begs the question, who paid for Karen Reed's defense? I don't know, but I saw that she was on trial again too or something. I think she is. Matter of fact, let's see. I think it's on Court TV. Oh, I'm on my drama channel. That's why nothing's coming up. I got to switch it back to my account. I think she was on there today. No, I swear it was on my shit though. Hold on. It's not on here either. I don't know. She had some kind of court appearance today. I think you could be right about the family not paying for the attorney. Yeah. I mean, with him saying a public defender, that makes me feel like they're not paying for it. But if they're not paying for it, I feel like it could be because of an inheritance thing or something like you guys were pointing out. Karen Reed does have a civil case. Okay, I thought so. He stopped charging after some point. Really? I loved AJ in the Karen Reed trial, but then I found out he represented Harvey Weinstein. Really? And that motherfucker got off. Yeah, it appears that way. I'm so angry about this case. I could have been prevented. So many parents are in denial. Well, to be fair, I mean, I think they went above and beyond to try to help him and make sure that shit like this didn't happen. I mean, they really were paying like $70,000 a month or something for him to be in rehab. They really tried with him. She's suing everybody who defamed her and blamed her for the homicide, including law enforcement who lied and made up evidence. All I know about her is I saw something when she made this book, and that was how it started, I guess. But now we're suing everybody. Okay. Whatever, lady. Whatever, crazy lady. I don't know if Karen Reed's crazy, but. All right, so yesterday we touched briefly on the dentist and his wife who were killed. I don't know. There's a video of a man walking away from the crime. I saw this morning, and it reads, prior 911 call reported, quote, domestic dispute, unquote, at home where dentist and wife were found deceased months later. As you can see, this is on my computer. There might be a commercial. I apologize if there is.
Cattle.
Let me make it big.
Hello? Hi, this is 911. We just got a hang-up call. Is everything okay?
True.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm okay. Sorry.
Okay, well, it sounds like you're crying. Do you need police, paramedics, or anything?
Oh.
What are you drawing over there?
See, I might have it wrong. I might have got it confused. That's not good. Did y'all hear her crying? There was a 911 hang-up call so far that we've learned. And then she says, yeah, I'm okay. And she's crying.
No, I'm okay. I promise. I'm just emotional. I'm okay. I don't need nothing.
Well, can I ask what had you call 911 in the first place? Like, were you having an argument with somebody?
We ain't got into it, but I'm okay. I promise.
Did anything ever get physical?
No.
You guys were just arguing, nobody hit each other?
Yes.
Okay. All right, man. Well, I have the information here. I can go ahead and tell the officers to cancel hitting over to your address there.
Yes.
If anything changes, call us back.
Okay.
All right,
I'm
thank
sorry.
you.
So the video says prior 911 call reported domestic abuse at home where dentist and wife were found deceased months later. Picture credit Doral Chenworth, Columbus Dispatch, USA Today. Now, Rachel said the brother-in-law spoke out today and said that's not her in the call. What I'm noticing from what you stated is if it is the brother-in-law, that means that it is his brother that she's calling about and crying, talking about a domestic or whatever it is that happened. I don't know. I'm gonna right now. It could be not true, but USA Today put it out. I'm thinking it is true, and he just didn't want the brother to be tarnished, considering that he's dead. B&L said it was a visiting couple. The wife called 911 and had mental health crisis, not the Tepes. Okay, so that makes sense. I mean, all the pictures, they look really happy. That would make sense. That if that's what the brother-in-law said, then that does make sense. Doesn't mean he's innocent or that he didn't do it, but blood is thicker than water. That's true. Now, see, when I worked, all 911 hang-up calls got a response, whether they answered the phone on the callback and said everything was okay just because of things like that call. Right. She did sound like a child, and I've not heard the wife's voice. No, it's his brother-in-law, the one that is married to his sister. Okay. Okay. They're saying it wasn't her. Yeah. Yeah, you definitely want to respond to verify. And she did sound very young. It did sound like a child. So allegedly, this is a different couple visiting. It's only 1 minute and 15 seconds. I'll play again. But allegedly, this is not the dentist and his wife. I have something else on this too.
Hello?
Hi, this is 911. We just got a hang-up call. Is everything okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm okay. Sorry.
Okay, well, it sounds like you're crying. Do you need police, paramedics, or anything?
No, I'm okay. I promise. I'm just emotional. I'm okay. I don't need nothing.
Well, can Can I ask what had you called 911 in the first place? Like, were you having an argument with
Me and my
somebody?
man got into it, but I'm okay, I promise.
Did anything ever get physical?
No.
You guys were just arguing, nobody hit each other?
Yes.
Okay. All right, man. Well, I have the information here. I can go ahead and tell the officers to cancel hitting over to your address there.
Yes.
If
yes,
anything changes, call us back.
Okay.
All right,
I'm
thank
sorry.
She does sound very young. And allegedly, they're still on the look for the person leaving the house that night in the video. 911 calls on a lot of cell phone activate automatic location for 60 minutes. That's why the cell phone showed coming from the Tepe address. Yeah, that's interesting. I was trained like this, basically says Nona Rocks. You are not likely to get in trouble for sending too many resources. They can always be sent back by the officer in charge. You always get in trouble for not enough, right? You're late for a very important day. Good to see you, Loriam. Yeah, they should have checked on her anyway, but if they deny the help, I mean, there's not much you can do. To be fair, it says prior 911 call reported domestic dispute at home where dentist and wife were found deceased months later. Let's see. Okay, we got the information from the brother-in-law here. That's the call we just heard. It says the wife of an Ohio dentist was later homicided. Okay, wait a minute. The wife of an Ohio dentist who was later homicided did not place a 911 call reporting a domestic dispute months before their homicides, the family member said. The call was made by somebody attending a house party the couple was hosting, she said. Police said they responded to the Columbus, Ohio house around 10 a.m. On December 30th, when they found Spencer Tepe, 37, and Monique Tepe, 39, both deceased with apparent firearm wounds. 2 young children were located inside the house unharmed. Police don't believe their deaths were a homicide self-deletion, adding there was no signs of forced entry and no weapons found. According to the news, detectives believe the homicides happened between 2 and 5 a.m. on December 30th. Fox News Digital obtained a 911 call placed by an unknown woman at the same house where Spencer and Monique were homicided. In the 911 call made on April 15th of 2025 at 2:45 a.m., the woman told the operator, "Me and my man got into it." She could also be heard crying when she was talking to the 911 operator and eventually said she did not need police officers to come. While a name wasn't included in the dispatch log, Spencer's brother-in-law, Rob Miesla, told the Survivor podcast that the person who called 911 was, quote, not Monique, unquote, but someone attending one of their house parties. Quote, so first off, if you listen to the voice, it's quite clearly not Monique. Everyone has seen the wedding video and has heard Monique talk, and it's obviously not Monique who's calling. Furthermore, I've been very outstated that Spencer and Monique had people over a lot. I think sometimes at these parties, people got a little too drunk. And for multiple people that I've talked to that were at this party, they have all stated, yes, we remember this happening. The woman had just a little bit of a freak out, for lack of a better term. Maybe, was having some mental health issues at the time, but she called cops from her cell phone. Miesla said, quote, she was at the party and she just kind of had a lapse psychologically, I think, at the time. And then it goes to the 911 call. While the suspects in the homicides of Spencer and Monique hasn't been arrested, the Columbus Division of Police on Monday evening released surveillance video showing a person of interest walking in the alley near the Tepe's residence in the early morning hours of December 30th. The video shows a man walking slowly in an alley near the Wineland Park home where Spencer and Monique lived. He is seen in what appears to be a dark coat and light-colored pants. Spencer's employer, Mark Villaros, who owns Athens Dental Depot, was the first person to call 911 and requested a welfare check after the dentist didn't show up to work. At 10:03 a.m., one of Spencer's friends went to the Tepe house and told the 911 operator that he could see a body inside. "There's a body," the person can be heard saying. "Our friend wasn't answering his phone. We just did a wellness check. We came here and he appears deceased. He's lying next to his bed. Off of his bed, there's blood. I can't get closer to see more than that." In a statement released Friday, the couple's family said they are heartbroken beyond words and called the deaths tragic and senseless. They were extraordinary people whose lives filled with love and joy and deep connection to others, read the statement. Spencer, a graduate of the Ohio State University, was known as a devoted, proud father, a loving partner, and a friend to everyone he met. The family stated, adding that he was intelligent, warm, and endlessly welcoming. Monique was described by family members as a loving, patient, and joyful mother whose warmth defined her. The brother-in-law told the news that the couple was going to celebrate their 5-year anniversary next month after getting married in 2021. To be honest with you, it kind of irritates me when we get stuff like that. 200% lots of alcohol, yeah. I get irritated because while you might think like that it's important, I don't think we should have been putting that woman's 911 call out here, especially if you can hear Monique's voice in the wedding video and tell that it's not her. Okay, thank you. I've got some stuff from Plunder too that I could get, but I haven't looked much into it. I have a question. If the couple's bedroom was on the second floor, how did the man see the body next to the bed from the outside? I don't know. Like, I mean, it's possible that if you're like standing out in the road, you could get at enough angle to see, maybe if there's like a full length window. But I can't imagine that there's a full length window and the curtains are open. Like, that's weird. I think it was a hit from what I've heard so far. I haven't heard everything, that's for sure, but I think it was a hit. And if the boss called for a wellness check and then this person could magically see a body on the second floor of a bedroom, I mean, I would start looking at them, honestly. You think he got in the house? That's a possibility. It doesn't make sense to me either, Michael. Green chili chicken. All right. Let's see. Hold on. We'll read this real quick and then we'll go into what I got back on the Florida case so far. This reads, a school gunman said to be freed from prison as judge okays resentencing. A high school gunman who killed 2 students and wounded 13 people could be set free from prison after a judge ordered he be resentenced. Charles Williams was 15-year-old when he opened fire with his father's revolver at Santana High School in San Diego on March 5th of 2001. He pled guilty and was sentenced to 50 years to life in prison. Williams has spent 23 years in prison, but the judge's decision Tuesday means Williams' case will be sent to juvenile court. That is expected to lead to his immediate release from prison without parole supervision or evaluation, according to San Diego County District Attorney Summer Steffen's office. Prosecutors will challenge the ruling in appellate court to try to stop his release, the office said. Oh my God. Quote, as prosecutors, our duty is to ensure justice for victims and protect the public safety, and the defendant's cruel actions in this case continue to warrant the 50-year to life sentence that was imposed. At some point, our laws must balance the rights of defendants, the rights of the victims, and the rights of the community to be safe. Williams' attorney did not immediately respond. Williams killed 2 students, 14-year-old Byron Zucker and 17-year-old Randy Gordon. He wounded 11 students and 2 staff members. Now 39 years old, he's currently being held at the California Institution for Men in Chino and became eligible for parole in September of 2024. He was denied parole after being deemed an unreasonable risk to public safety by a state board, the San Diego Union Tribune reported. The board also said it was unclear if Williams understood why he committed the shooting. Williams said in a statement at the time, quote, "I had no right to barge in the lives of my victims, to blame them for my own suffering and the callous choices I made. I had no right to cause the loss of life, pain, terror, confusion, fear, trauma, and financial burden that I caused. I am sorry for the physical scars and psychological scars I created and for the lives and families I ripped a hole in. It is my intention to live a life of service and amends, to honor those I killed and those I harmed, and to put proof behind my words of remorse. I wish so badly that I could undo the hurt and terror I put you through. With the deepest remorse, I am forever sorry." I want to know, has he gotten better since he's been in prison? Right. Great question. How has he behaved since he's been in prison would be my biggest question. I mean, he served 23 years and he was a juvenile at the time, so I have a soft spot for that. But if we're asking questions about his mental health and if he could go hurt somebody again, he don't need to get out. Prosecutors say the Williams case has been transferred to juvenile court for a disposition hearing. Due to his age at the time of the shooting, his convictions will be redesignated as juvenile true findings after he will be released from prison and potentially placed on juvenile probation, prosecutors said. Williams was able to petition for resentencing due to a law enacted in 2011 that allowed judges to give juvenile offenders with life without parole sentences a chance to be resentenced. An appeals court decision in 2022 made those with the functional equivalent of life without parole sentences eligible as well. The Independent in the that's just advertisement for the newspaper. That's not good. So he was 15 when he opened fire with his father's revolver at Santana High School. It was March 5th of 2001. I don't remember hearing about that. And y'all, I was gothic. I was really into Charles Manson. I actually studied Columbine and shit. And I've never heard of this guy. Hey, Kalisa, good to see you. True. I mean, that's what they're saying. So technically, 2 lives are only worth 13 years each. You're true. He was a 2-year-old and was killed by 2 10-year-old. Both are now free. I think we did look into that case briefly. I don't think I did a lot on it because it's hard for me to get information from the UK. But I think we did. The name sounds familiar. I'm writing it down though. Weren't they like S8 or something? Daniel Addis, the 2001 Isla Vista Angel of Death. He's out after 10 years. Daniel Addis? Okay, I'll look him up. So I don't know what to do about that. I don't know that he should be free without mental health services in place and without being watched, being evaluated. That's extremely concerning. I do feel like he should be looked at again since he was a juvenile. Okay, but they have the document, you motherfuckers. Pissing me the fuck off. Okay, so let me pull up what they sent me. I'm about to send them, when we get off the live today, I'm going to send them fucking screenshots of what the fucking news released. And I'm going to be like, look, motherfucker, this is what I want. Here it is. The news released it. You cannot tell me that what I'm about to pull up is the only thing that was released when I have something else. You motherfucker. Excuse me. Ooh, this is a big one. All right, let's talk about it. I've also got the a copy of the body cam that you guys can look at. I'll try to put it, I'm going to put it on Patreon because we looked at it and I did a video on it. This is going to be Darnell Harriston and Junior Bishop. Okay. They are out of Florida. Darnell Harriston would fix four-wheelers in the Flagler Estates area. He was a registered SO. He kidnapped an 11-year-old boy using the 15-year-old Junior Bishop, who took off in the vehicle and ran. Bishop is not saying anything at all, still hasn't spoke to my understanding. And they're planning on trying him as an adult and giving him another charge for luring the 11-year-old who was tortured at a alleged campsite, but really in the woods of the Flagler Estates area for 2 days. And it took his parents 2 days to report him missing. You would think that, I mean, because what bothers me is that they're going to just release him to society talking about the school shooter, and not do any type of evaluation, not check up on him, nothing. Like, that's concerning. But I think it should be looked at again. Yeah, it absolutely is. So, as you know, yesterday I told you they were like, oh, this is an open case. We can't give you anything. Well, I emailed them back and I was like, look here, now, stop fucking with me. No, I didn't say that. I said, but the news has released this body cam and they have information. I would like to get that information. So they sent me this and a link to the body cam and was like, this is what we released at the time. Now, I want the fucking document where it states what the 11-year-old went through. It has been redacted, but it was released to the news. They're wanting to go back and forth with me, so I'm going to go ahead and try to get that after the lab. This, however, is a news release from January 2nd of 2026 from the Flagler Sheriff's Office. It reads, case update, kidnapping, other charges added against man who was arrested and found with missing juvenile during traffic stop. Quote, see something, say something, unquote, results in rescue of 11-year-old from grasp of our registered offender. This is Bunnell, Florida. Following an extensive investigation led by the Flagler County Sheriff's Office Major Crimes Unit, additional charges have been added, including kidnapping and child abuse, against Darnell Harriston, a registered offender who was found traveling in a vehicle with a juvenile who had been previously reported missing. Notice it says a juvenile. So they're obviously talking about the 11-year-old. Why wasn't 15-year-old Junior reported missing? What's going on with that? Oh, I will. I will, Michael. I will. Deputies rescued the missing juvenile following a traffic stop on December 31st of 2025 after a caller reported to the Flagler County Emergency Communications Center that they had seen Harriston, who they knew to be an offender, traveling with two juvenile passengers. So both of the children were in the vehicle, but only the 11-year-old had been reported missing. Why? They had seen, okay. The caller further told dispatchers they knew one of the juveniles was reported missing in St. Johns County. During the traffic stop and after deputies had separated Harriston and each of the juveniles, one of the juveniles stated to a deputy that they had been kidnapped, were not safe, and believed that they would be killed if deputies did not intervene. The 11-year-old victim was clearly traumatized and in fear. The deputy quickly secured the child in the safety of their patrol vehicle and went to detain Harriston, but he tried to flee on foot. Harriston was arrested shortly after for resisting an officer with violence and attempting to deprive a law enforcement officer of their firearm. Following Harriston's arrest, deputies confirmed the juvenile had been reported missing 3 days earlier, and he was transported to a local hospital for medical treatment. The FCSO Major Crime Unit responded to interview the child. During the interview, the child stated that he had been lured to a wooded campsite in the Flagler Estates area where Harriston choked him until he lost consciousness. After regaining consciousness, the child told detectives he was threatened with a knife and a firearm. tied up with shoelaces and an extension cord, and had duct tape placed over his mouth. Okay, so this is the document that the news had, but I had to email them, I think, 4 times to get this. And they just sent me back this. The first one they sent did not say this. So I told them, look, here's a link to where the news released this information. They sent me a link to the body cam and a document. And then I messaged them back and was like, I want to know what the 11-year-old said. And then they sent me this. This does have that information in it. So that's what it is. I have not, but I would like to. And when I get my license changed to Arkansas, I'm going to work on getting some stuff out of here too. Did anyone see an interrogation of a young teen who stabbed his friend to death? He was locked up but died recently in prison. The interrogation was bizarre. Total psychopath with zero remorse. No, I haven't seen that. Why was that teen a total psychopath? What had he been through? What kind of traumatic shit had he been through in life that made him that way? Would be my question. It is. I agree with you. He did it in the school toilet in the morning after luring his friend to the toilet. My God. That's awful. I'm going to star those comments and see if we can pull up information on it. All right. The document continues. The child also told detectives that Harrison held him at the campsite for multiple days and made him travel on the floorboard of his truck covered by a blanket. With assistance from the St. John County Sheriff's Office and the FCSO Crime Scene Investigations Unit, detectives conducted search warrants on Harrison's vehicle, his residence in Hastings, and the campsite. Across the 3 locations, detectives recovered multiple items, including duct tape, video surveillance equipment, and weapons consistent with the child's statements. Detectives from both FCSO and SJSO conducted extensive interviews with Harrison. During the interview, detectives determined that Harrison knew the child was missing and endangered, but he could not explain any reason for keeping the child from his parents when he knew that law enforcement was actively searching for him. On January 2nd, detectives obtained an arrest warrant for Harrison for kidnapping a child under 13, aggravated child abuse, battery by strangulation, and robbery with a deadly weapon. Detectives served the warrant at the Sheriff Perry Hall Inmate Detention Facility, where Harrison was already being held on a $125,000 bond for the prior arrest. He is now being held without bond. Quote, clearly, thanks to See Something, Say Something, and our deputies recognizing the victim was very afraid, we rescued a missing child who was in fear Harrison planned to kill him, the Sheriff Rick Staley. In the hours after Harrison was initially arrested, our team put in a tremendous amount of effort on this investigation, working throughout the day, night, and well into the early hours of New Year's Day as they followed every lead, processed multiple crime scenes, and conducted interviews to make sure this child was protected and that this pervert would be arrested for the crimes he committed. I commend everyone involved, starting with the caller who saw something and said something, our deputies, detectives, analysis, and CSIs, and our partners at the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office and State Attorney's Office who work closely with us on a very fast-moving case to make sure this pervert will face justice and hopefully serve the rest of his life in prison. The investigation remains active and ongoing. The other juvenile, Junior Bishop, who was arrested on multiple charges after he fled from the traffic stop by stealing Harrison's vehicle, is possibly a co-conspirator in the kidnapping with Harrison. Bishop may be facing additional charges once the investigation is concluded. One additional charge for grand theft of a motor vehicle was added since his initial arrest after detectives determined he did not have Harrison's permission to take his vehicle. Bishop is currently in the custody of the Florida Department of Juvenile Justice. And see here, the Flagler County Sheriff's Office has made 2 arrests and recovered a missing juvenile. Why is Junior Bishop being treated this way? Hey, Abellis. Good to see you, love. Thank you for being here. Why is Junior Bishop? I don't like this. That child has been in the company of this 60-fucking-year-old sex offender for God knows how long. Why is he being? I can't. He's being treated as an adult. He's been arrested. Let's see. Harriston suddenly fled. While speaking with the three, okay, it says on the morning of December 31st that they conducted a stop, okay, and he was with two juvenile passengers. Deputies asked the occupants to exit the vehicle. While speaking with the three occupants, deputies determined one of the juvenile passengers had been reported missing in St. Johns County. Deputies recovered the missing juvenile and placed them in a patrol vehicle while the investigation continued. As deputies were gathering further information, Harriston suddenly fled, running and tripping into the roadway. After a brief struggle in which Harriston attempted to grab a deputy's firearm, deputies quickly apprehended him. Deputies arrested Harriston for resisting an officer with violence and attempting to deprive them from the firearm. While the deputies were arresting Harriston, the other juvenile, who deputies identified as Junior Bishop, 15 of Hastings, entered the truck and fled, nearly hitting a deputy in the roadway. They pursued him southbound along US 1 and then westbound along State Road 100. As the vehicle apprehension neared the Putnam County line, a deputy passed Bishop on the left and got in front of his vehicle in an attempt to stop him. Bishop then briefly entered the eastbound lane into oncoming traffic and re-entered the westbound lane and purposely rammed into the deputy's patrol vehicle, causing both vehicles to crash into the wood line and Bishop's vehicle to roll over. After Bishop exited the vehicle, deputies quickly apprehended him. Deputies arrested Bishop for aggravated fleeing and eluding, aggravated battery on law enforcement, reckless driving, driving without a license, and resisting an officer without violence. During the vehicle apprehension, a second deputy lost control of his patrol vehicle and struck an automotive repair building in Bunnell. Two deputies received minor injuries during the incident. Both were treated at Advent Health Palm Coast and released. Bishop was evaluated by medical personnel and was not injured. They transported Harriston and Bishop to the Sheriff Perry Hall inmate detention facility where they are currently being processed. Harriston is being held without bond until first appearance, while Bishop will be turned over to the Florida Department of Juvenile Justice after being booked. Harriston is a registered sex offender and was released from the Florida Department of Corrections in 2009 when he had been serving a 12-year sentence for 3 counts of false imprisonment. He has a lengthy arrest history, including previous arrests for aggravated assault with deadly weapon, burglary with assault or battery, cruelty towards wife, disorderly intoxication, lewd or lascivious offenses committed upon a child, property damage, and sexual battery. Quote, "This was a very suspicious incident that is still under investigation by our detectives, but I'm thankful that nobody was seriously hurt and that we were able to recover a missing child from this pervert's grasp. I also do not understand why a pervert was sentenced to 12 years in prison in 2004 and released after only 5 years in 2009. Clearly, he has not learned anything. The investigation is ongoing." And this footage is what we saw yesterday, I do believe. Yeah, it's still the 3-minute and 8-second video. Born bad. All right, I'll look into it. I'll see what I can find. And where he takes off, the 15-year-old sees him and then also takes off. That fucking 15-year-old, why is he trained to go like that?
All units and 3 given.
214 Old Drive.
Dude. Yeah, there is a whole motherfucking lot to try to understand with that case. Yeah, it's a 3-minute and 8-second video. Yeah, the video where the guy tried to grab her gun. I can pull it back up. Hold on. Actually, I already have it up. I'll pull it up and we'll watch it again, but it's what we've seen already. Let me look it up. The other case.
Sorry, all units 10-3 given. 214 Old Drive.
It was just a white truck.
You can hold it.
Turn around, put your hands behind your back. 214 flagger! 214 flagger, I don't want to run it.
That's the 214 and the teenager just took off in the white.
Right. I agree.
Give me your hands.
You got me. You got me. I can't. You got me. You got me. I will cooperate. I will cooperate.
Took the truck is Dwayne Bishop.
Behind your back.
71410.
I can't do that with this.
71410.
I can't. I can't.
Stop. Put your hand on the ground.
They told me to give you. You got my hand.
Yes, I got your hand because you grabbed my fucking gun.
No, I did not. I felt DOT. Right.
Southbound towards Royal Palms.
Right, you got me.
Ready?
Yeah.
Give your fucking. Don't do anything stupid.
I'm not. I'm not.
Not
Who got
now.
my truck? Who's the truck got my truck?
Good.
Can y'all help
Roll
me?
over.
Can we get up? I got a kiss. I got to really kiss. Hey, aggravated assault on LEO. Can we
You
get
grabbed
up?
my fucking gun.
Okay.
We got ag assault on Leo.
The guy that's driving the truck.
Southbound.
Who took off with my truck?
This motherfucker's in the company of 2 fucking minors, and all he's worried about is who took off with his fucking truck that he's never gonna need again.
Who the fuck took
This
off
can be
with my
Dwayne.
truck?
Roll over.
Whoever was in your fucking car, you fucking retard. I'm trying to get up.
Sit up.
Okay, I am. I am not
Stop.
fighting y'all. I'm not fighting y'all. Help me up.
Please, deal.
Help me up. Help me up. Let's try we get in.
Not. I saw it, but I haven't watched it yet.
Signal 4, signal 4, signal 4.
Yeah, so that's all we have on that. I don't know, man. That shit don't sit right with me. That shit don't sit right with me at all. I'm gonna read it to you. I'm not gonna play the video because I'm gonna see if I can submit a FOIA and get the information myself so I don't have to play somebody else's shit. But because specifically because it's out of Florida, it says February 3rd of 2004 at Southwood Middle School, 14-year-old Jamie Go was found by students homicided in a second floor bathroom. He was stabbed more than 40 times and his throat was slit. After Go's body was discovered in the bathroom stall, a teacher noticed blood on 14-year-old Michael Hernandez's clothes and informed the police. Hernandez was brought in for questioning. Michael Hernandez was obsessed with becoming a serial homicider. He even kept a journal with a hit list of victims, which included Jamie, another friend, Andre, who narrowly escaped, and his own sister. He said he was on a mission to cleanse the planet. In 2008, a jury rejected Michael Hernandez's insanity defense and found him guilty of first-degree homicide and attempted first-degree homicide. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Hernandez died on April 29th of 2021 at the Columbia Correctional Institute near Lake City, Florida. Video footage from the prison showed Hernandez collapsing unexpectedly. An autopsy later revealed he suffered from cardiac dysrhythmia, an irregular heartbeat, and was morbidly obese. No foul play was suspected. I'm going to keep that pulled up so I can try to get information on it, and then we'll go over it. Yeah, that's pretty fucked up, isn't it? All right, before we go, I will share with you information on the Sean and Mickey Stines case. Now, the judge has been removed from that case because he said he can't be impartial because he was friends with Judge Mullens. I think Mr. Speculating was saying like 7 days before the sheriff shot the judge, they were seen together for like several hours as they were having some type of hearing or meeting on something. This article tells us that a hearing reveals key details in a civil case against Sean Stines. A motion to dismiss hearing in the civil lawsuit against former Letcher County Sheriff Sean Stines and 3 of his employees revealed more details about the case and significantly narrowed the claims against the sheriff, who was accused of fatally shooting District Judge Kevin Mullens. During Tuesday's hearing, attorneys confirmed an agreement to dismiss official capacity and negligence claims against Stines, leaving only individual and intentional act claims in the lawsuit filed by the Mullens family. The partial dismissal focuses the case solely on Stines' personal liability rather than his role as an elected official. So basically saying that he didn't personally know about it, and just because whereas before they were saying because he's an elected sheriff, he should have known about this. And it changed it to where they're saying he's just a person. He couldn't have known about this, I do believe. The hearing centered on a motion to dismiss filed by attorney Jason Williams, representing 3 sheriff's office employees, Deputy Jason Eccles, and office administrators LaShawna Frazier and Christine Boley. Williams argued that Kentucky law does not impose a duty on government employees to warn others about potential crimes or to protect the public from violence by colleagues. Oh, that's not related. Williams told the court that Kentucky courts have established there's no universal duty of care to other persons and no duty to warn others that a crime may be committed. He cited limited expectations such as psychiatrist-patient relationships where overt threats are made, but argued those circumstances don't apply in this case. The defense noted that Stines and Mullens had eaten lunch together in Whitesburg on the day of the September shooting and described them as friends who moved freely about the courthouse. Williams argued that there were no allegations that Stines had threatened Mullens or had a history of violence known to the defendants. Plaintiff's attorney Ethan Manning countered that deputies have a statutory duty to provide security services to the courts, which creates legal obligations sufficient to defeat the motion to dismiss. He emphasized that in the motion to dismiss, all allegations in the complaint must be accepted as true. Manning also invoked the special relationship doctrine, arguing that such a relationship existed between Mullen and the defendant. He cited case law suggesting that when ultimate injuries are foreseeable and victims are identifiable, a duty may exist. So basically, Stines is saying that I have no duty to tell everybody about what could possibly happen, especially against a colleague, and they're arguing that because you are an officer, yes, the fuck you do. The complaint alleges that Stines exhibited unusual behavior described as anxious, paranoid, or psychotic prior to the shooting. However, the defense noted there are no allegations that the sheriff's office employees had psychological training or that Stines made direct threats against Mullens. The courts will allow additional briefing, with defense attorneys given 14 days to file written replies and plaintiffs 7 days to respond if they choose. The judge will issue a ruling after reviewing additional submissions. The civil case stems from the September courthouse shooting where Stines allegedly fatally shot Judge Mullens in his chambers. Stines faces separate criminal charges in that case. The civil lawsuit filed by the judge's widow, Kimberly Mullens, seeks to hold not only Stines, but also his employees liable for allegedly failing to prevent the tragedy despite warning signs. So the judge's wife came and said, I'm going to sue everybody because y'all should have stopped this tragedy from happening. Y'all should have seen the signs. That's right. We don't live in the Wild West, and we don't act as judge and jury and executioner. That's not how this society works. Exactly. Exactly. I agree. Or is it in Tanisa? Y'all are silly. All right, y'all. I want to thank you guys for being here. Thank you for hanging out with me today as we talked about these cases. Bing, bop, boom, 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 bop, bam. Yeah, that's what she's saying. Sheriff knew that murder was bad, okay? The sheriff knew murder was bad, okay? And he did it, okay? Okay. All right, y'all. I'm going to go for the day because we've been here for like 2.5 hours. Thank you, Hannah, UK. Thank you, mods. Thank you, chat. I don't thank my mods enough. Thank you guys so much for everything you do. I could not do it without you. I know. I'm sorry. Thank you. Thank you, Addie V. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you guys so much for chilling with me today as we talked about these cases. I will look into these cases that I wrote down and try to get the information on that one guy, that born bad guy. What's his name? Michael Hernandez. That's his name. I'm going to try to get some information on that. In my mail truck. I got to go check the mail. All right, y'all. If nobody's told you, you are enough, you are important, you are special, and you are loved. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Bye.